to wrap this up as quick as possible.
Oh, goodness.
Going higher. Hulu just put on the Power Rangers movie, the first one, and I just watched it.
Yeah, that was on Netflix, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I've been watching.
Nope.
Netflix put a whole bunch of horror movies on in January, which
the one with
Ivan
Ooze, right?
What happened?
The one with Ivan Ooze, right?
Yeah, Ivan Ooze. Yep.
that was on it. I watched it.
I remember. My mom didn't remember, but she took me to that movie when I was like 6 or 7 or something when I first came out, and I just remember the ending and how terrible the CGI was. I was like, that's not the Megazords. Those are I remember that as a kid. And I just rewatching it, man, it is bad, the CGI. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, well, I remember the beginning really well.
Yeah.
Roll.
Take a free ride.
Roll.
Yeah, we're rollerblading. Woo! Yeah, but the opening where they skydive and shit. But hey, yo, what it do, GG Nation, GG Legion. It's your fella again, Straussman the GG. Happy New Year. And yes, the first video 2020 on YouTube is going to be Star Wars. We're going to talk Rise of the Skywalker, Episode 9. Spoilercast. It's been a couple weeks now, and we're going to pretty much just dive right into spoilers because I just want to talk about it. We're going to try to not make this super long. But you know us, we talk forever. What's up, Max? But we're just gonna get our thoughts from a hardcore fan and a fan, a non-fan, just a fan of movies in general, JJ. But it's gonna be really interesting. I want to talk about it. I know it's a little late in the game, but I still feel like we could talk about it. We will do Super Mario Maker 2 tomorrow. I got some stuff to do in the morning, but when I get back, I will do we'll do that for my cousin Seth. Oh, that was Seth. What up, Seth? I thought that was Max, my bad. But after this stream, hit us up on the Twitch. We will be live streaming some NHL, but that'll be in a couple hours. It'll be around 6:30 my time. JJ's got to hit the hay early, but we'll probably play for an hour and a half maybe. We won't play too long. It'll be pretty quick. So we're trying to keep this up, and we'll break the news if Drummond gets traded, which is only for me and JJ's sake. But we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty. Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalker, the end of the Skywalker saga. And right off the bat, I think that was a huge effing mistake to call it that. To say it's the end of the Skywalker saga, for sure. What are your general thoughts right before we just dive into this bitch of the movie?
I thought it was a fun movie. I did enjoy it. I still don't know how Rey can keep up with Kylo Ren. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't.
Are you a fool, JJ? She is a goddess. Power.
I'm just saying
he's been training power.
He's been training his whole life, and then she just comes in and she's like badass. But
yeah, I know she's just the goat.
Yeah, I don't know. It was all right. It wasn't great. It was a good movie.
JJ, I want to say this right off the rip. You know, I don't hate this movie. It's just kind of meh to me. When I got out of the theater, I was just like I didn't. It can have its place. I know there's going to be a lot of young kids that enjoy this movie. For 2 hours and 40 minutes, this movie just goes quick. I mean, there's no chance. I know they want you to feel those moments, but there's no chance to because it's just oh shit, another planet. We're just going rapid fire. Our dads didn't like it. I heard them on the phone. Our fathers, obviously the older generation. And I want to explain myself really quick. I am a huge Star Wars fan. JJ's dad, my uncle. If you guys don't know, JJ and I are cousins. My dad is the older brother of his dad, which means my dad kicked his dad's ass all the time because he's better. And then JJ's 4 months older, which means he kicks my ass all the time, especially in Madden. But for sure, I remember JJ's dad and my dad. I went to the re-releases of 4, 5, and 6. They took me to the theaters. Went to all of them. And then when we moved to Florida here, I went to the prequels with my mom and dad. And then continue with the sequel trilogy. I went with and all the spin-offs. I went with my dad. So the tradition still continues. We're still going to see Star Wars movies, but I just really feel like, what's up, Shannon? How you doing, brother? I really feel like Disney just really dropped the fucking ball on the sequel trilogy here. And I don't really know what Abrams. I'm gonna call him Abrams. I'm not gonna call him JJ because we already have a JJ on the podcast, so we're gonna be annoying as shit if we're gonna. But I don't know what Abrams really could have done after Episode 8 to really fix. And I feel like 30, 40 minutes of this movie was like, hey, fuck Episode 8. Everything Rian Johnson did, fuck it. Don't forget it. Everything he talked about. And I'll say this: I think in my Spoilercast with Nightface, shout out to you. I think I gave Episode 8, Last Jedi. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good, solid, decent movie. There was a lot of things I didn't like about it, and I'm basing this whole trilogy on a trilogy. I'm not basing this just on Rise of Skywalker. I'm basing on all 3 movies working together. But I would probably change my vote now. I would probably give all 3 of these movies a 6. The number of the beast, 666. They're just okay. They're good popcorn movies. You're not going to be bored. They're fun action, but I think they just really dropped the ball. How did you feel about Disney handling? I had a lot of hope, honestly, after taking this from Lucas and the prequel trilogy. I was like, shit, Disney's going to kill it. They've been killing it with Marvel, but man, they really dropped the ball, in my opinion.
They've done everything except for the Skywalker canon. Like their animated series are pretty good. I liked Rogue One a lot. The Mandalorian is great.
Yep.
So everything but their Skywalker canon has been really good. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bummer that they I talked to my dad about it, and he's kind of right. Luke should have been the one to end it. If there was going to be a Skywalker to end it, it should have been Luke.
Yeah.
And it just is a bummer that they just kill everybody off, and then they become a hologram or some shit.
The Force.
Everyone's
a hologram.
Ghost. Yeah, the emotions never hit me in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, even the big twist, like, it was like, oh shit, but then you're like, oh.
Dive right. We could dive right in. It's spoiler there. We gave everybody a warning. It's been 2 fucking weeks, people. If you still haven't seen the movie, this movie did not do great, by the way. It did not make a lot of money.
No, it was. Well, the only real big mystery everybody wanted to know is, where did Rey come from? How does she tie into all this shit? And it ends up she's the granddaughter of Palpatine. Which is kind of cool, but I think that's the only thing cool, like, that got me in this. Like, oh, that's a pretty good twist.
I think the original plan was for that, though. I think I'm just going off Episode 7 as it's new. Not counting 8 and 9 yet. I think the real plan was for her to really be a Skywalker, to be like Luke's kid or something. Yeah. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then, Rian Johnson's like, hey, no, anybody could be a Jedi, which is a good message. That's a good message. I don't want to shit on that. But the way they handled... What's up, Allie?
Yes.
The way they handled... So cute. The way they handled Luke Skywalker and the legacy characters, Abrams and Rian Johnson, they just dropped the ball on the legacy characters big time. Like that. They just
fuck them all.
Yeah, they really mishandled all of them. And it's a shame that all 3 of them didn't get to be together for one last time. And Mark Hamill talked a lot about this. And kind of shame on Harrison Ford, because he just wanted to get out as fast as possible. You kill me off an episode motherfucking 7. Do it right now. Kill me so I don't have to return. But we're going to talk about him returning, so that's a shame on him anyway. I don't like there's a whole bunch of YouTube videos of Mark Hamill shitting on The Last Jedi and stuff like that. So it's very odd, because the first, episode 7, episode 9 feel very Abrams, and then episode 8 sticks out like a sore thumb right now, right? So it's very odd. So you have one movie telling you, okay, nobody, it doesn't matter who the fuck you are, you could be a Jedi. And then episode 9, oh wait, hey, she's a Palpatine.
She
Which is an
got in her
interesting
book.
twist. I feel like the Palpatine thing was just a Hail Mary. F it. Just throw it. Just throw a Hail Mary. But it's 1st and 10. no, just F it. Everybody just run. We're going to throw a Hail Mary. And
You can score on first down.
I really don't think Abrams, in my mind, I think Snoke dying for him was big. Luke dying in episode 8 was big. A lot of stuff that he, this is his fault because he's like, I'm not going to finish this trilogy, right? In episode 7, I'm going to leave a whole bunch of shit mystery in the air, right? And I'm going to let somebody else deal with it. And then when you come back to finish episode 9, which I give him a lot of balls for doing. I mean, I want to say, by the way, I didn't write anything down, guys. We're just winging it. I'm just going with my feelings and my thoughts of the movie, as being a huge Star Wars fan. But it's just very inconsistent, this trilogy. I think I hate to wish for people to get fired, but I think Kathleen Kennedy really has to go. Like, I think she just really injected too much political shit in this and too much, we just want to have a good time. It's just a fun story from beginning to end. And I feel like these movies aren't really fun. They're just kind of there.
Well, it seems like 3 different movies.
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't seem to be... Like, Rey's the only, real through line, and then...
Kylo. I like his point, where every episode 7, 8, and 9, he's fighting with good and evil internally. Am I going to be good? Am I going to be evil? I actually thought that needle thread, that little thread throughout the 3 movies is pretty decent, in my opinion.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like the first trilogy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just totally. Yeah, 100%.
A worse version of the, you got New Hope, and then this one felt a lot like, what is
Empire?
it? Yeah, where he's bad, but he's battling being bad, and he's saving this shit, and then he comes back and Kylo saves the day, kind of like it was a Darth Vader type storyline.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they fucking just ripped Darth Vader 100%.
Yeah, it just totally.
Yeah, and I want to say this, by the way, before the Disney fandom gets super crazy and just berates me, I just want to say, I thought the cast gave it their all this movie. I thought Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, which is Poe Dameron, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, they put it all out on the line. So I don't want to blame them. So when I'm about to shit on Rey here in a minute, I'm not hating on Daisy Ridley. I'm not hating on her as a person. She's a sweetheart, but the writing is not good. And they really did a bad job writing her character. They basically just essentially made her a blank canvas until the end with, hey, Palpatine Hail Mary. This is all we got, guys. This is what we gotta fucking do, right? And it's kind of crazy to think that, you see the Snokes in the jar right in the beginning of the movie. Oh, Snoke's nobody. I control them. I'm Palpatine. I have all this shit plugged into me. I've been here for 30 years. And this fucking planet, I forgot the planet's name. I don't know. I don't care. Well, he got stuck on he's on this planet, and he has 10,000 Star Destroyers or something? Like, how the hell are you paying these people? Or, where do these people come from?
He's got all the power of the Sith.
Yeah, it's odd. The legacy characters, I just really wish they were handled a lot better in this. I feel so bad for Mark Hamill because he pretty much played a character he didn't want to fucking play in episode 8. They tried to redeem him as much as they could. They tried to inject a lot of fun. And I want to talk about fan service because JJ texted me. He's like, I enjoyed the movie. The fan service There was a lot of fan service, but I overall had fun. He texted me when he first saw it with his little brother, and I don't feel like the fan service was great in this movie in the sense I don't feel like it came from the heart. I feel like this was Marvel. I don't feel like this is Marvel fan service where it's like, oh shit, like this is like one of my favorite comic book moments brought to life. This was more reactionary to episode 8. Like, holy shit, let's do this, let's do that. How'd you feel overall?
Well, it was a lot of like forced fan service, bringing Han back and Luke back, and the only real thing that got me was I thought Chewbacca was dead because you don't see the other fucking
well, it's a cheap fake out, man. It's some bullshit. Like, because it's like, hey, oh shit, Chewie's dead. Oh fuck, we're on another planet. He's alive. Like it's like 8 seconds. Like you can't feel anything in this movie because it's just shit, hey.
I feel like if you're gonna do that, you let it sit longer. You let it sit like Chewie's dead.
Feel it a little bit. Till the end of the movie. Because we just mentioned this is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You need to feel. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of because you did find out Chewie's all right away.
Like right away. I mean, it's instant.
You needed to feel the gravity of because Rey killed him. Rey killed him, and you needed to feel that gravity.
Yeah. So what happens? They go into Burning Man. They're in Burning Man. They're at Burning Man, and Rey and Kylo, like the Knights of Ren, which we'll talk about. The Knights of Ren are fucking useless in this whole movie. They
didn't seem badass at all.
No, I know. They're supposed to be the coolest fucking thing, but hey, we're just here for a couple shots here and there. But she could amazingly dodge a TIE fighter, cut it in half, and it blows up, but he's okay. He doesn't, hurt. They captured Chewie. They're on this freighter or whatever, and she just literally just pulls it out of the sky. Like, she's just holding it. But she accidentally shot some force lightning, and that shit blows up. So that's what we're talking about with the Chewie moment there. Just trying to give a recap for some people that might not remember that scene. But, like JJ said, continue, JJ. Go ahead.
It needed to have more weight. Then, because her character never really goes through that struggle. She killed Chewie.
Yeah.
She goes through it very quickly because that should have tore the group apart,
Yeah.
That should have Poe and everyone. That should have just tore everything, and it did for like a scene and a half. Like
I mean, it's quick, man. I mean, they jumped the planet and planet.
As soon as they get onto the Star Destroyer or whatever, or the Star Destroyer. As soon as they get back on that, they're like, "Oh, Chewie's alive." It's like, what the?
Yeah, like what the hell? They didn't even torture him. Where's the rape scene?
If they would have brought, if I guess, if I'm the screenwriter and I'm writing it, Chewie comes back with Lando when they bring
who wrote this, by the way, right?
Who's that?
The guy that did Batman versus Superman and Justice League. He wrote this movie.
Batman versus Superman was not a good movie.
No, not at all. Justice League was okay.
I had fun with Justice League.
Yeah, I did too. I don't think it's but it's not a great movie.
No, it's not it's another fun
popcorn movie, It's not an Avengers movie though. You don't feel the weight in that movie.
No, you definitely Chewie needed to come back in a heroic sense, not them rescuing. It would have been Chewie fought off fucking stormtroopers. Lando gets him when he's because what happens? They end up finding this planet because they're gonna face Palpatine, and so they get all. The resistance is like, oh man, we're going to die. Everyone's going to die. And then Lando shows up with a bunch of people from other planets. Basically, it's saying, hey, as long as you have hope, there's a chance.
Yeah. And I think that's also a big problem with this movie because there's like 400 MacGuffins. They're just, we met, like Zori Bliss, supposed to be Carrie Russell. Lovely, lovely actress. She's in the movie for like 2 minutes. But her costume, her Daft Punk costume looks pretty dope. But she's supposed to have some history with Poe Dameron. I guess Poe Dameron's Han Solo now, I guess. His art's completely different now that he was a space runner. He's evil. He has some evil smugglery with him. And they had a funny joke with those two where it's like, can I kiss you now and stuff? But the MacGuffin, like, I'm going to give you so you can get onto that Star Destroyer. and leave this planet, I'm gonna give you this, coin that I need for me to do that to go anywhere in the galaxy. I'm just gonna give it to you. Whatever, fuck it. And that was the MacGuffin. There's always a MacGuffin just to kind of get him to the next scene.
Well, I
And
like
that's what
that.
I
What was
mean.
that
Like
little
we just talked about the
Bobble?
Chewie moment, and it just kind of just goes to the next scene. There's a MacGuffin. Just well, hey, we can do this. Hey, we can do that. Hey, oh, we found the thing to go to. There's only two in existence, but we found one to
Yep.
go to Palpatine's planet.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
But I like the battle between Ren and Rey in the water. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty damn dope. The lightsaber battles, which we didn't really get any in Last Jedi, it was really cool. That water scene was beautifully shot. That whole scene was really well executed and really well done. And it's like JJ said, it was just a really fun scene. And there's that Han Solo moments at that place too. And I kind of hated another MacGuffin, the dagger. Like the dagger. Oh, this is like the Death Star is going to be this actual shape by this. Another MacGuffin, and the MacGuffin of healing the snake. Oh, we got to show you that we can heal. Force heal.
We got new force powers.
Yeah, like I don't want to hate on that because some people might really like that, and Baby Yoda does that, and I like that Baby Yoda does that because I love Baby Yoda.
You have to be able to. They do have to be able to adapt and invent new things, but they just gotta write better. Like, I think the characters are fine if you write better.
I think John Boyega got hoed a little bit. I think Finn's art got really destroyed a lot with the Rose and Finn. And what did they do with Rose in this movie? They just Jar Jar Binkster friend zone where like he had more connection with Jaina, right?
Yeah, the other former stormtrooper.
Yeah, where he finds a group of stormtroopers on that planet, which is pretty cool and interesting. And what was one of the first scenes in this movie? Because there was no Luke didn't train Rey at all. What's Rey doing? Training, boom, boom, boom. We're doing all this, like
Leia's training her.
Yeah, and it's just a really shame. Rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. It's just sucks that these legacy characters couldn't be together for one final scene and really embraced. And I feel like, how'd you feel about Finn? And what did you think Finn's secret to Rey was? Remember, he tried to tell her something, and they never explained it.
I have no idea, but I don't think they handled that character very well either. I think they tried to do more. Poe, they definitely pushed Poe to the Han Solo role. Finn was more like a Chewie, maybe? I don't even know who.
Whoa. JJ, is that a racial thing? No. I think you're right. I mean, they really did him dirty a little bit.
He's more like sidekick to Poe now.
Like the thing about Finn, though, I think what I took it as is that he loved Rey. But what it could have really meant, thinking about it, and that's the problem with this movie. If you think about it, you're gonna start hating it. Just if you really enjoyed this movie, do not think about it. Don't talk about it. Just hold on to that memory of having fun in the theater right there. Because the more and more you think about it, you're gonna break it apart and be like, damn, this shit just doesn't make any sense at all. Like all the MacGuffins and everything. But what it really was, because if you mentioned he sensed her a lot, remember he's like, Rey, he sensed her all over everywhere she was at. I think he was force sensitive. I think that's what it was. I don't think it was a love thing. At first, that's what I initially thought, but thinking about it more, I think he has some force. I don't know if he has force powers, but he's force sensitive. He can sense people. Which, he did hold the lightsaber in episode 7, for a little bit.
Yeah, the stormtrooper can fucking. Ugh.
It's really interesting. And there's just too many. A lot of the fans. Let's talk. We didn't talk too much. I'm sorry, movie. Guys. We're all over the place. We're just going raw in emotion. We're raw dogging it here.
It reminds me of an X-Men movie where there's just too many characters and they're just like bam, 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 bam. We got
this and this and this. Not everybody can get love, right? You're
trying to, because it's the last Skywalker movie. You're trying to fit all this in instead of just leaving it open ended where you can kind of tell a good story.
Yeah,
just like this.
Was there any fan service moments you really liked?
I like when she had the two lightsabers. The green and the blue. I did like that. I love the line where she says, "And I have the power of all the Jedi." When she says that was kind of dope to me.
We'll talk about that in a second, but go ahead.
I like that because really there was only 2 Jedi left. So
yeah,
but I liked Rey as a character a lot. It just seemed like too forced.
Yeah.
Pun intended. It just seemed too forced. Because I don't mind her being a Palpatine because you already, you had the Anakin, whole Anakin.
Yeah, a lot of people were theorizing that like 3 years ago, and shout out to them. They kind of got
it. She had to be something, right? Yeah. She had to be tied somehow.
No. If you watch Episode 8, JJ, anybody could be a Skywalker or a Jedi.
That doesn't make sense to have her in this story then.
Yeah, I know. It's very odd.
8 to me is a throwaway movie. Like, you don't need 8.
It's just kind of odd. Yeah, I know. It just really sticks out there. Yeah. There's a lot of fans. I thought the Harrison Ford moment was pretty decent, pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's not a Force ghost. It's just a memory. It's Leia's last attempt to connect to her son. I thought that was a cool moment. Again, Harrison Ford didn't get his hair done, didn't shave. I'm gonna take my $50 million and get the hell out of here for the one shoot I did. One day shooting,
One day.
And again, kind of shame on him because I love Harrison Ford. He's a fantastic actor, but he never embraced Star Wars like Mark Hamill did, and they still tend to embrace him more instead of Mark Hamill, and that's kind of a shame. Like, that moment would have been a little bit cooler if he actually got to talk. Well, I know this is crazy. I'm not a big fan of the prequels, but that'd be really cool if Kylo actually got to talk to his damn grandfather. Got to talk to Anakin Hayden Christensen, like a Force Ghost of him or some shit, right? Like, that would have been interesting. That would have been a more fan servicey thing to the heart, because in the episode 7, again, I watched all these movies before I watched episode 9. I want to state that. So it's kind of fresh in my head. But he's talking to Darth Vader's broken helmet. He's like, "Grandfather, I want to know where you are. Like, I can sense you. Like, what's..." Like, that would have been a cooler moment if he actually got to... Because Hayden Christensen actually is in this movie for a voice for like 2 seconds, with that final scene with Rey. We'll talk about the ending later, because that's another bag of worms. But I'm just talking fan servicey moments. I thought there's 2 moments I really laughed out loud and I thought were hilariously dumb. And that was, which is a fan servicey moment with the Ewoks. They were in Endor. They mentioned they were in Endor. They show the Ewok from Return of the Jedi, and I just I bursted out laughing at the. I thought that was the stupidest thing ever. And I don't want to shit on fans that like Reylo, like Kylo Ren and Rey being a couple. But that kiss didn't feel earned, and I laughed my ass off when they kissed for like 2 seconds. I burst out laughing. I was just like, this is just bad. Like, that's just bad. In my opinion. Just stating, in my opinion. Again, Reylo fans, do not stab me in a convention if you see me at MegaCon coming up here in a couple months here. Do not stab me, please. I'm just saying. It's Chad with you see a keyblade pierce me, it's fucking Chad behind all the shit I'm talking about.
It is a great game.
All the shit, fuck you. And I wanted shout out to Elo. I really wanted him on here, but I don't think he ever saw the movie. He said he was going to be on here, but I don't think he ever saw the movie. I asked him, and so it was I wanted to see his perspective of it as well. But shout out to you, Elo. Thanks for letting me down again, you son of a bitch. But I laughed at those 2 fan servicey moments. I also thought Chewie getting his medal was dumb. There's been this long, like, it's just not the right fan service. Like, what's the purpose of it? Like, Chewie never got a medal at the end of New Hope, so I'm, like, 40 years ago. So people have been harping on that for years. And then Maz Kanata's like, "Hey, here's a medal."
You did it. You got captured.
Like, I don't understand. Like, that moment was just a throwaway fantasy. Like, that's not from the heart. That didn't mean anything. That was just, like, I don't want to. like I'm sure JJ didn't, or not JJ, but Abrams didn't have full control of this. I'm sure there was some string pulling and stuff, but there was, I mean, this is just could be titled Star Wars fan service the movie. Like legit, it's just fan service the whole way throughout the whole
What did we
thing.
fuck up in 8? And what did we fuck up in the past?
Yeah.
Let's fix all of it.
Let's just fix it all. Let's just fix it all.
If they could have stabbed Jar Jar Binks in the face, they would have.
Yeah, and there's no way, like JJ said earlier, there's no weight to any of these actions. At least not for me. I've seen so many people. I watched like Collider's review. I watched a lot of people's review and they're saying like that metal scene made them cry about the Chewie. I'm like, it's just
Yep.
like it's really. I didn't feel any emotion like in this whole movie. As a huge Star Wars fan, I find it really odd that any of the fans really like this movie because it's not love at all, in my opinion.
I cry in every single movie I see, and this one didn't even come close to that. I didn't even come close in anything. Nothing really felt weighted to me where I was like, oh my god.
There was no stakes at here. And I don't hate. I think the through line of Adam Driver's character, Kylo Ren, fighting this inner struggle of good versus evil within him. I gotta kill my dad, I can go full Sith, and I'm gonna kill my mom, I can go full Sith. But him coming back to the good side is not bad. I thought it's a decent concept. Rey teleporting the lightsaber to him. I guess they can do that now. Like they can.
They're connected.
They're a dyad. I'm sorry, I forgot to explain that. They are like the two greatest things ever, right? Like I feel like your dad. Shout out to my uncle. Love you very much. Your dad's right. Probably should have had Luke in this movie, and that's probably the original plan to have Luke Skywalker in this movie. And you notice what's the first thing you do in Episode 8? He throws the lightsaber. He catches the lightsaber in this one. It's like, hey, you shouldn't throw that. Yeah. Just to say, fuck you, Rian Johnson, and your stupid shit. Like, that's how I feel like they did a lot with this movie. But I really feel like they could have did it a little bit better. I feel like, in my opinion, Kylo was the rise of the Skywalker. Like, he rose to great heights in this movie to a degree. They kill him. They fucking kill him, like. But that would have been more appropriate to me if he was the rise of the Skywalker. Like he carries the family because he is a Skywalker. His mom's Princess Leia. She's a Skywalker. Like I thought that would have made more sense. And they pushed out big time with Rey. They didn't want Rey to die. She died for like a minute. Like, and then Lando's character with, I guess Lando just has
nothing but fan service now. That's all he is.
Yeah, he's not in it for long. And I guess he just has the sexiest voice in the galaxy because everybody and their mom shows up. Like, that's another big MacGuffin. Everybody's here now. We're so afraid because they have all these 10,000, mini Death Stars, right? That can shoot and kill planets, right? But hey, we're going to be here for the Rebel Alliance anyway. Like you said, it's very Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back type deal there. I mean, this ending's totally Return of the Jedi. Like, 100% like Return of the Jedi. Like, the mini little party at the end of other Endor. Not real Endor, but the other Endor. Because we don't want Wookiees. We show the Wookiees for like 10 seconds. But let's talk about that ending. I really feel like Palpatine and Rey, there was supposed to be this ritual. It's very confusing because Rey tells Kylo, kill her. And then he's like, no, I want Rey to kill me so I can absorb her, right? Go into her and be evil. And I guess there's got to be a ritual slice. Maybe you got to, hit from the left.
If she kills him, then it's kind of like, it's exactly Return. Like, if Luke strikes you down, she wanted Luke to kill him too.
Yeah,
and then he
absorb Luke, right? Like, exactly. Yeah. And that ending battle was really lame, in my opinion. Like that whole, I'm all the Jedi.
I like the line because of what he said.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm all this. But seriously, are you going to just keep shooting lasers while you're getting fried? Like, right? Like, And that was cool. The effect was cool, but why would you keep going? Wouldn't you be like, oh, hey.
I'll say the movie looked good. Like
Oh,
everything.
dude, these are the
Yeah,
best looking movies ever, man. They're like that.
everything looked awesome. The
Like I
ships.
did. I saw this in IMAX 3D and it was beautiful.
I still
Like
think.
that's not the issue with the movie. It's just
I
the
still think Kylo Ren has the second coolest lightsaber.
yeah, it's really cool.
Darth Maul is
Be
my
careful
favorite.
how you hold that lightsaber.
Oh, you will. Yeah, like if you come around, dude, it definitely like Mac
you're
when
gonna
he stabs himself with the sword.
fuck, man.
Ah, dude, you're bleeding. Yeah, it
Uh,
cauterized.
but what did you think of that ending? And if you notice, it's so quick. Everybody that is talking to her, it's like
Yeah,
Mace Windu and
yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn, Hayden Christensen, even Ahsoka from what's it called?
Yeah,
Star Wars Clone Wars. You hear her for a second,
I
which
was
is
thinking they paid Samuel L. Jackson to say one line. Like 15,000? Say 4 words? You get 1,000 a word?
he probably got paid. He's like, you're gonna bring me back in the studio for this shit, I want 30 million. And you probably got 30 million.
Yeah. Dude, that's like a tenth of our budget. I know.
It was 275 million. I think they spent to make this movie.
That's it?
They paid George Lucas $4 billion for this franchise, and I think they made that back now. This movie didn't make it back for them, but because they probably lost a lot in
Well,
marketing.
I saw that it did something at the box office. It broke some kind of record today. I forgot what it was.
It was the worst. I think it was worse than Solo's opening, actually. Opening weekend.
Yeah,
We don't. Obviously, holidays. People. There's probably a strong push second through. It almost made $1 billion, I think, but it was hovered around 500 million for a long time. It didn't do really well.
Yeah, the ending was all right. The Palpatine, yeah, like you said, it was a lame battle. Like to me, the highlight of the movie was the Rey and Ren battle in the water.
Yeah, that was a really. There's a lot of cool space battles, some cool battles in here. Really cool, interesting stuff, but it's just at a feverish pace that you just can't really enjoy it. It's a little kind of odd where they had like the horses on the Star Destroyer. Literally, their whole plan for all 10,000 Star Destroyers, they're gonna have only this one have an antenna to control all of them, right? Like, come on.
Well, I do like that was funny to me when they did the horse thing because just neutralize their speeders. They don't have speeders and they're fucking riding horses. It's hilarious.
Yeah, or just do this with your ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you have to really do is go like this.
Whoop! Yeah. Everybody just falls off. But, I mean, it's a cool moment. I don't want to hate on the actors. And there's a lot that goes into this to make a movie like this. But they really dropped the fucking ball, in my opinion. I do not think this is a great movie, but it is a fun popcorn movie. I mean, definitely go see it, matinee cheap. If you already saw the first two, you should go see this one. Finish the trilogy off or whatever. And whether you guys like it or not, we're going to get 10, 11, 12, 13. Like, it's going to keep going. Kathleen Kennedy did say, though,
she's a Skywalker now, guys.
We're not going to do trilogies anymore. I think she's out. The rumor is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni would take over, the guys that did The Mandalorian. And if you guys watch The Mandalorian, it is the best Star Wars thing, and Jedi Fallen Order, the video game, are the best two Star Wars thing like the last 20 years, in my opinion. And I would be if they had Jon Favreau take over, I think that'd be a smart decision.
Yes, he handles everything he does with pretty. I mean, the Iron Man kicking off the MCU was huge, and he directed that. And
yeah, he directed the first two Iron Mans. He plays Happy.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man movies and a ton of other Marvel movies. He's handling a lot of the Disney remakes that make a lot of money, which is another topic for another day. But The Mandalorian, I just want to say this, it's not the greatest show of all time, but it's a good show. It's a very solid show. It's really fun. It does a lot. It respects the legacy where it came from, but it's not afraid to do something new. And I think that's the problem with these movies. They're just, copying the original trilogy to a T. We have three people. They rise up and rebellion against Empire, good versus evil. Which is fine. I really wish they would do their own thing, not be so afraid to do some new stuff. Like Rey really could have been a great, cool character, but they kind of hoed her bad. They kind of did her dirty.
That's what everyone wants to do. Just do her dirty.
And again, I love Daisy Ridley. I think she's really talented. I think she does. She gave it her all. But it's funny, none of them, like, the promotion of this movie was terrible. Like they weren't excited to promote this movie at all. They were just like, they're like, nope, I'm not coming back for Disney Plus. You won't Disney Plus me, you know? Like damn.
Yeah.
They just want out. Like, you can tell how bad it was for them. And it's really a shame. Like, it's really a shame they dropped the ball on this. And I don't really want to believe a lot of people, but a lot of people say, you know, Star Wars is not made to last, you know, longevity-wise. And honestly, there's only really 2 good movies. It's Episode 4 and 5, and that's really it. Out of all 9 fucking movies, including side movies. Like, I'm a big fan of Rogue One as well. Like, JJ liked that one a lot, too.
Well, the Clone Wars, the animated show is really good, and so is the what's the other one? The 2 animated series are pretty good.
I forgot that. I don't watch the animated series.
Yeah, those are both pretty good.
I heard a lot of people say they were really good.
You're
right.
A big
I heard
fan,
a lot of people.
If you're a fan of Darth Maul like I am, because I think he looks badass and cool. They really do him dirty in the movies.
He had a really good fight scene, though, man. Ray Parker Jr. killed him on that fight.
They killed him right away. But in the animated series, he's like the main antagonist.
Yeah. He somehow survived his. Yeah, he has like robo legs now.
He's all right.
Yeah, he made it, and that's in Solo. Site spoiler for the ending of Solo. He's in there.
Yeah.
Robot legs.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
It's still on Netflix. You should watch. It's not great, but it's fun. It's fun. Like and JJ said this 1,000 times. You know, they're good popcorn movies. Just go watch them, but they're not great stories. But
no.
Episode 4 and 5 are, and the original trilogy nothing will top that, in my opinion. But where do you want Disney to do with the series now? Like, where do you want to go from a non-fan perspective?
If it went away, it wouldn't kill me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't bother me that much. But I get people's love for it, and I'd like to see more video games that are good. And I know, because it is cool being a Jedi and having a lightsaber and using the Force, and you know that shit is cool. I think more lightsaber battles in a movie would be cool.
Wait till you play Fallen Order, man. You're gonna get your Jedi fix on that shit, bro.
But you know, I would like more original stories, kind of like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, like they're not afraid to do anything different with The Mandalorian. That's what I like.
Make it canon, but outside. Because what I read, you know, I heard Dad reads all the graphic novels, all the stuff that's canon. He reads all that shit, and he says that's all.
Kylo Ren's a despicable person in the comics, man. Like and that's the guy you're gonna fall in love with. I want to take Ben's hand, not Kylo's hand.
Yeah, he's Ben Solo. Get it? He's Ben Solo. It's Ben Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo. Yeah, he became Ben Solo. Yeah, like
the worst. If your last name's Solo, 2 of the worst names. Han, Hand.
How they explain it's even worse in the Solo movie. It's bad. It's a question we didn't need answered, is what I'm saying. We didn't need his last name to be anything. Like, but I'm with JJ. They need to do some more original story. This sounds crazy as shit. But take a 5-year break. Take a 5-year break. Build up the hype again. Put Jon Favreau at the top with Dave Filoni. I'm assuming they would do it together because they did The Mandalorian together. Because not every episode of The Mandalorian is great. I want to say that straight up. There, you know, I had problems with you, but overall the show is, I would say, a 9 out of 10, just because it's just well made and it's really fun, and it has that old Star Wars feeling of adventure, where these movies are beautifully shot. I mean, great CGI, great battles, but there's no fun. There's no journey. The journey's It's all over the fucking. There's no continuity. There's no thread line, except very few. And how did you feel about his death? I didn't mention that because he died. He gave his life for Rey. What did you think of that?
Like, you kind of had to, right? One of them had to die.
I don't think you had to kill him. Either of them.
I think one of them had to die because you go into it. No, I guess it had to be, and it had to be Ben. He had to die because once you go into the movie knowing it's the last Skywalker movie, you knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, everybody really thought he was going to follow his grandfather's path, but it would have been a big twist if they kept Rey dead and he rose as the Skywalker.
Yeah,
but if you did that, you're a sexist pig.
Well, that and then their way out of it is because the one through line through the whole series is Rey doesn't have a last name. Rey isn't. She's just Rey. I'm just Rey. And then at the very end, they ask her, "Well, what's your name?" Rey. Rey what? Skywalker. So
yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, first of all, that's an awkward scene. She stops and looks over for like a minute.
Yeah. The lady's probably
the lady's probably gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?
What's your last name, idiot?"
And this is really odd too because
I see Luke and Leia.
In episode 8, Rey doesn't have parents, right? Like Kylo's like, your parents are trash or whatever. Like
they're nobody or whatever.
And that's another big negative thing too, because like, who the hell had sex with Palpatine? Like, who the hell had sex with the fucking because he has a son, like he. Thank you, Mom. I'll eat it in a second. Like he has a son. You see them for literally, they're paid for 3 seconds. They're killed. Like I said, I really felt like Rey was going to be a Skywalker. I mean, it's very predictable, but I really thought that she was going to be Luke's kid. I think that was the original plan for this trilogy. And then, Rian Johnson kind of fudged that up a little bit by killing Luke and then saying, "Oh, no, she's a nobody. It doesn't matter. She could just be all powerful. That's cool, right?" But it would have been more interesting if she looked over and saw her, which technically wouldn't make sense because I guess his son isn't like a Jedi or anything or a Sith. But like, why don't you take your grandpappy's name, Palpatine, like redeem his name, be like Palpatine, I'm Rey Palpatine, But she looks over like Luke and Leia are like her mother and father, and it's like, oh yeah, I was kind of.
They really wanted that incest line to go through. They started it all the way back in A New Hope. They wanted to keep the incest going.
Yeah. Yeah, like they did that, and that ending scene means a lot for Star Wars fan because it's Luke's home planet. It's where his parents were killed, not his real parents, obviously, because his real parent is Darth Vader.
It's his aunt and uncle.
But yeah, it's his aunt and his uncle that took him in. But they were murdered in the first movie. I mean, episode 4, which was the first movie back in the day, when our dads were kids. But like, it's a beautifully shot scene. It looks nice. It means a lot, but it doesn't mean a lot for Rey, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't.
Like, if you were talking about it, wouldn't you have just said, instead of her saying I'm Rey Skywalker, wouldn't she just said, I'm just Rey? Just keep it going.
That would have made a lot of sense too. We become sexist pigs, JJ. She stays dead.
No, I think it's
it's Ben Solo that's there.
I think it's sexist to make her
Skywalker.
I think it's sexist to make her conform to a last name. She's a woman. She can be whatever she wants to be. To make her be a Skywalker, man, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that is sexist as fuck. You're right. That is sexist as shit.
She should have said Solo, because that was her boyfriend's name.
Oh, God.
I'm Rey Solo. I'm riding Solo.
Solo, yeah. Jason Derulo. I just want to see if I'm missing. Was there anything else to talk about? I mean,
what was the name of the little chick who was translated the dagger for him? Bobu or whatever, or Babu or whatever.
Maz Kanata.
She was fucking hilarious. That little thing was.
Yeah, and it's funny. We never got the answer for it because episode 7, she's like, they ask like, how did you get Luke's saber? And she's like, "Oh, that's for another story," and we never
No,
get
no,
the
no, no,
answer for
no,
that.
no, no. Not that character. The one they go to with Kerry
Oh,
Russell.
Babu Freak.
Yeah.
He was hilarious as shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that
CP3PO, they
character.
treated him like shit in this movie.
Yeah,
they treated him like
but
shit like this movie, and
C-3PO always he gets treated like shit in every movie.
he
I've
does,
noticed.
but it's for comedic effect and it works. But they really are his friends. Where these guys don't give a shit about him. Like that scene where he's like, "What are you looking at, CP? I'm looking at one last, image of my friends." Like, who the fuck are you looking at there? They don't like you. They fucking hate you the whole time. Like, it's. But Babu Freak was funny. Yeah, he was funny. The little dude, little puppet guy.
Just another sidetrack here. So Anakin built C-3PO, right?
Yes.
And he knew R2-D2, right? So how come when he's Darth Vader, he doesn't recognize any of these fuckers?
It's called. They
used the fourth movie before the first one. So
yeah, that's what they did. That's what it's called. And like you said,
it always made me laugh. Like, how do you not know who this robot is? You built it, you idiot.
George Lucas having full control of those original movies, they're just too slow, and they just.
Me and Dad laugh about it because we're like, maybe he got like amnesia from being half burnt to death.
Yeah, like legit. It's one of the highlights of the original prequel trilogies when he becomes Darth. Like it happens too quick in my personal opinion, but it's.
Darth Vader is. Like, he is probably the number one most recognizable villain in all of pop culture.
Yeah, but the way they treat him now, he's not a villain. He dances and
everyone
sings, and
everyone who knows, even people who don't know Star Wars. Like, my wife has no idea anything about Star Wars. She knows who Darth Vader is. Everyone knows who Darth Vader is. So
his scene in Rogue One was amazing, where he just kills everybody. This is awesome.
He's dope. It was. I thought they did. I don't know. They should just embrace. I'm with you though. They definitely turned Anakin I think we talked about it before, where he goes from being like a good guy training Padawan to murdering.
I mean, it's too quick.
Yeah. It's like he already wanted to kill.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a serial killer the whole time. We just didn't know. They didn't.
Well, no, like the one plot point is in episode 2 when his mother dies.
Yeah.
He goes off and kills all those, what's it called, sand people?
Yeah.
I forgot their name. I used to have that voice.
I think they're just called sand people.
That's a little racist, Jade.
That's what I've heard.
That's what they're called, man.
This whole thing is racist.
Yeah.
Dude, they have a little brown character who wears a hood called a Jawa. Those
guys are funny as shit, though, man. They're great in Mandalorian. That episode of Mandalorian is hilarious and great. I'm with JJ. I want to see some original content. I want to see some new games, some really good new games. We're probably going to get Jedi Fallen Order 2. I think I'm close to beating it, but I'm going to platinum it, so I'm doing all the extra shit. I'm having fun with that game. It is 2020. I do apologize for this sloppy ass spoilercast of Rise of the Skywalker. Was there anything else that we missed? I'm trying to remember. It's been a.
No. I didn't. It was a. I recommend seeing it in theaters if you're gonna go see it.
Yeah, like the next time I watch this movie is on Disney Plus, and that's a maybe. It's a maybe. A lot of people are canceling their Disney Plus because Mandalorian's gone now. Or
who is?
A lot of people are canceling. There's a big story going around. A lot of people are canceling their Disney Plus because Mandalorian's over. They're gonna wait till like next Mandalorian in the fall.
Well, keep in mind, I'm excited. Now we get to watch Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Well, I think JJ, he said this in the podcast a couple days ago. He's not a big Disney guy, but he got Disney Plus. But I think he got it because he wants to watch the Marvel shows, and we'll review the Marvel shows on here. I think that's why he really got the Disney Plus. Well,
it's kind of nostalgic too. Like me and Jacob watched Brink the other day.
Yeah. There's a lot of good sports movies on there too, yeah.
The movies that don't hold up, like all those Disney Channel shit I used to watch. Like Brink doesn't hold up.
They have the Spider-Man series, they have Spider-Man Unlimited,
but Miracle's on there. Miracle's a 100% watch. It's a great movie. I Remember the Titans is pretty good, but a lot of the old anime, I'll say I bought it right away 100% for Darkwing Duck. That is the reason I bought this to watch Darkwing Duck right away, to show my kids Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
And then it also has the new DuckTales, which is a fantastic series. So
yeah, the show's actually pretty good. The new one's actually pretty good.
They got a lot of
if you
great
had
voice.
to put a grade, we don't usually rate things on the channel. What would you give this whole Skywalker trilogy here? Disney trilogy, sequel trilogy.
It's a C. It's a solid C. I would say, yeah, there's just too much they can improve to it that it's a C. If I'm right where you at, it's like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's why I would give it this whole 666 for all three of them. Number of the Beast. They need to give the Jon Favreau. I think he needs to take over. Hopefully that happens. Again, I don't wish any harm to Kathleen Kennedy, but she did drop the ball. Her and Bob Iger dropped the ball. George Lucas had all the comics, he had a bunch of scripts written out for this movie, for all three of these movies, and they just threw all that shit in the trash. You can just tell by this movie there was no love. There's no soul in any of these movies. That's the
George Lucas wasn't a great scriptwriter either, though.
No.
Like the prequel, once his wife left him or whatever, because I think she helped with the original, with 4, 5, and 6.
No, he had a lot of help with 4, 5. Like they got lucky as shit, man. The editing and everything.
Once he took full control of it, it became really political and it became
boring, like you said. Yep.
Yeah, it's a very
yes. But this is what he would have done good though, is they would have took those scripts and made a better version of them.
The coolest thing he did was
because, like you said, he's not a great character writer for sure.
No.
But he has a great vision, though.
Yeah, he had a whole overarching story, obviously.
And they didn't even invite him for the premiere for this.
Yeah. And Skywalker is a dope name.
But the story is about Luke. It's about that whole.
Well, this isn't the Skywalker. This was a Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, if you're gonna call it the end of the Skywalker, like have some more respect for it. The thing, I'm gonna say it again. I don't know how Abrams. First of all, he was crazy as shit for taking this movie to end this trilogy. What? I don't know how you really can do it after Episode 8. It's way too conflicting. It's really tough.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of balls you had to have to kill Luke. Like, of any character you can't kill, he's the one.
Yeah, to kill him, and then to make him a big, essentially a pussy. a cranky old man. But we're going to be back in an hour, guys. We can be here forever talking Star Wars, but I want to shout out to my cousin JJ. We're going to play some NHL. Follow our Twitch link below. Again, I apologize. We're kind of all over the place. Just going raw dog and going from
We are running this Spoilercast like they ran those movies.
Yeah.
We're just all over the place, man.
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm just giving my honest, raw thoughts. Again, you guys are allowed to love it. You're allowed to hate it. Again, I don't love it or hate it. But as a huge Star Wars fan, it's what has been in my whole family, my whole life. I have nearly all my original toys still. All my X-Wings, my Millennium Falcons, my Slave One, Boba Fett. Which is probably the weakest Mandalorian of them all, actually. Doesn't get a lot of screen time. But shout out to my cousin JJ. We'll be back in an hour, 6:30. Or was it 6:30 my time or your time? My time.
Yeah.
6:30 my time. We're going to play some NHL. Maybe we might finish up some Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and get those last 2 characters if JJ wants to do that as well. But we'll be back on Twitch in about an hour. I'm going to go eat.
To 40.
Love you guys. Love JJ. Appreciate all the love and support on the channel, guys. Thank you so much. If you're new, hit that sub button, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all of you from the bottom of our hearts. Your fellow Straussman, the GG, and JJ, we're outie. Tell us how you feel about Rise of the Skywalker.